one home at a time. This is a place for makers, doers, and dreamers. It's where the global marketplace meets hometown values, where Americana isn't just a tradition, it's a way of life. Here, your experience makes the difference. With access to railroads, major waterways, and 8 different highways, this is a place across the world. And when the work ends, the day's just beginning. With beaches like West Beach in the Indiana Dunes National Park, exciting hiking and biking trails like the Diana of the Dunes Dare or the BMX track, and
start our meeting. So if you could stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. If we could do the roll call.
Member Gore? Here. Mayor Bonta?
Here.
Member McAlpine? Attorney Elwood?
We've got the approval of the minutes. Ken, did we have a correction we needed somewhere on there, or was that a different meeting I'm thinking of?
No, that's this meeting. Let me pull it up.
It's from the June meeting, actually, the correction.
Okay, so minutes from the June 5th meeting, there were certain motions discussed regarding property on Central Avenue.
Sorry.
Sorry. I'll buy a different mic. There needs to be a correction to the meeting minutes from June 5th meeting where motions were discussed regarding 5806 Central Avenue. So I'd like to read those 3 motions, and then if we could get a vote to correct the minutes. 1, authorize the mayor to execute a buyer's exclusive agency agreement with Andy Miletta of McCauley Bennett to act on behalf of the Portage Utilities Group. 2, authorize the mayor to negotiate and to execute a purchase sales agreement with the sellers of 5806 Central Avenue not to exceed $300,000 and subject to the purchase requirements of Title 36 of the Indiana Code and legal review. 3, authorize the expense for 2 appraisals pursuant to the requirements of Title 36 on not to exceed the cost of $4,500 upon the execution of purchase sales agreements by both parties. So if we could have a motion to correct the minutes.
I'll make that motion to correct the minutes. Those 3 motions, I should say.
Second?
So we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
So that gets us then also to the approval of the minutes from our last meeting. Did you guys have a chance to take a look at that, and was that all correct?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
And I will, maybe you
Second.
And then we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you. Our staff reports.
Hello. So the plant, this month, we had a small issue. We were doing some routine maintenance, and in the process of that routine maintenance, the gate broke and dropped to the ditch, so we did not have any flow going out for a while. So we had to, there was a small, it still was allowing a little bit through because it didn't hit all the way to the bottom, but we had to put some in the EQ basin for a little while until we could get an anchor to pull the gate back up. So our maintenance guys worked tremendously hard. They worked together. We made several calls to the field to see if they had any of the stuff we needed. We located it right away, the anchors we needed to hold it so that we can pull it back up. So they worked great as a team and got it done quickly. There was no violations from it, nothing like that. We did notify IDEM to let them know that we did have at some point no flow, so we couldn't sample at that time. We did sample later and ran the tests. They were absolutely fine with that and had no problem with the way we handled it and appreciated that we even let them know. So there was no issues after that. I spoke at the council meeting about an anniversary of an employee I have, so John Gasner, it will be his, in September 6th, he has his 20th anniversary, but he has decided to retire on me. So on the 17th of September, he will be retiring. I just wanted to say I hope he enjoys his retirement. We're going to miss him a lot, and it's going to be some real big shoes that people are going to have to fill. So in that being said, we are looking for a wastewater operator. So if anyone knows anyone who's interested, we have just put it out to the public. So we are looking for someone that at least has 1 year experience in a wastewater treatment plant. We've received several applications already, so there's a big interest in it. So we're excited about that. At the end of August at IWEA, which is the Indiana Water Association Conference, the lab was given the Lab Excellency Award. This is the second year in a row that they have gotten it, and also the percentage of score was very high, and they kept getting congratulated there because both years they had a very high percentage for it. So I'm very proud of my lab and everyone at the plant. Any questions?
I'm curious, with the wastewater treatment plant operators, are you seeing, there are just a lot of more senior folks that are
Retiring?
getting out? I mean,
Yes.
I know like in land surveyors, there's a large number of older folks, and there's this gap. What do you see with the treatment plant operators?
It's all in Indiana. It's all, I mean, every conference I go to, everything I'm hearing, there is the generation that did wastewater, and they're all now at the generation to retire, and it's not a career people want to go into. They don't know about it. So it's not like people are at home or going to college saying, I'm going to be a wastewater technician. They're not. Their kids aren't dressing up as wastewater technicians at Halloween. You know, it's not a popular, so we are trying to make it more popular. I mean, that's why we go to all the different conferences and different events in the city to let the young kids know we're giving tours of the high school. We want it out there that this is a good job. It's not the sexiest, prettiest job out there. You're not a firefighter or a policeman getting all the kudos. But it's a job that pays the bills and pays it well. And it's a job that you can make a career out of. And you can't just have anyone just doing it. It takes someone to be able to, with smarts, and you've got to have some education to be able to do it. But it is, yes, we are seeing that. Item's also seeing it. There's less young people taking the test, so there's less. So that's why states are now interchanging licenses. A lot of states, you could go to one state if you have a license in Indiana and run their stuff. A lot of states are going to that because it's just a very hard industry. Like I said, all we can do is advertise and hope that people can see that it is a great job out there, and it is a career for people. Thank you. Any other questions? I think I'm the biggest cheerleader for it, too.
You do a great job at it. Thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Hello again. Hey, Adam. So, Indiana American Water, they bored through one of our lines on Dunewood, so we had to do an emergency repair there. It was just, took us about a day to do it. It wasn't real deep, so that was fortunate. Lute Road, since we're gonna be repaving that, we're out there looking at the storm and the sanitary at this time. We are finding some problems with some of the pipe there that is probably going to have to be addressed before we pave it. Since we do got our CIPP going right now with the SRF, probably once we get everything looked at and figure out exactly what we need to do and how much we need to do, it would probably end up coming with a change order for the CIPP, because that's probably it might come out of our pocket, it might not. It depends on how everything comes in, as far as all the projects go. But just to let you know, there could be a possible change order coming for Loot Road, because we're gonna have to line all the pipes on Loot Road. We still got one issue with one pipe we can't get in right now. It's got a drop, and it's so bad, we can't even get a camera or a jet nozzle in there. So until we're gonna drop, tomorrow's gonna be the big day, we're gonna drop somebody with the tripod down there to actually look at it and see what's going on. After that, then hopefully I'll have a complete report, and I could send that to a Stitchy form and give it to John Handon's office to look at too. So that's kind of where we're at. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. So that gets us to unfinished business, the NIPSCO solar agreement.
Okay, so you guys may remember several months ago now, we had, Andrew had presented, in fact, something about, we were looking at connecting our NIPSCO solar. And NIPSCO was saying, so our solar that we put in with the SRF money, NIPSCO sent us a report saying that it was going to be $453 and some odd amount, $453,000 and some odd amount to do their connection. They had to do a bunch of work on their lines and all this. So the mayor and I had contacted several people. We ended up contacting NIPSCO to try to see why. We didn't understand why. We're not going to be putting any power back to the grid. We're not going to. It's only supposed to take us 30% off per our engineering agreements and everything we figured out. So finally was able to have a meeting with them. It was like late last month, and they're explaining that they're going on 5-minute intervals. So in a 5-minute interval, they're checking our lines, and at any time, there could be a power spike that we are putting more than our 783 kilowatts that we'll be making. We could possibly put power back on their line, is what they're saying. And the only way, after speaking to them, it's more in the wintertime when the campground's gone and there's nobody in the campground running air conditioners and all of that kind of stuff, because when the campground's packed, there is no possibility. So it's got to do with the line, not just what amount we put on. So there was the question of, what if an industry comes in there and uses more power? We went back and forth, and of course they're set that their line can't take it right now. At this initial time, they can't go on theoreticals on if there's a huge increase of an industrial user there or something. They can't go on that. They're going to charge us because it could be this. So after communications with them, we did make an agreement with them that they would allow us to do 350 kilowatts so that we can at least start the solar. So we can start it up, we can end our project, Thieneman can be finished with everything, but we won't be able to go more than the 350. And in that agreement, I also spoke to them about their amount, their $453,000. I wasn't comfortable paying it all up front for them to say that they can take 12 plus months to do the work. How do I know they're going to finish it in that? How do I know that it ain't going to increase in a year and a half, the amount? So they did send us an agreement to break it 50%. So it would be 50% now before they start the work, and when they finish the work, we would pay the last payment of it. So the motion I'd like to make today, have you guys make today, is that we sign the agreement to NIPSCO as this. We didn't put the solar up just to be a statue. We need to use it. We need to be able to. They're not gonna cave on this. After the attorney's able to look at it and see the agreement, per his approval, us sign it and pay the initial amount. I have it in my capital to be able to pay to start this up. So that would be my motion.
I actually have reviewed it, and I have concerns that the costs are only estimates and subject to change.
Yeah, and with NIPSCO, I mean, there is always that chance too.
Are there limits we can put into a motion to have like, I don't know if I'm using the right term, could something like this, which I gotcha.
Yeah, that's basically what they said, yes.
I'm not saying don't approve it, I'm just advising the board that it's an estimate.
Wouldn't the first payment be a set amount, and then it would be the second payment that would be a higher up?
Yes, I do believe that, because I'd have to do the set from what it is now.
Would that have been true of any agreement with them?
That was how the first one read also. They're not going to lock themselves into something that they could possibly raise.
Are these costs expected? I mean, do we anticipate these?
We did not, no, we did not anticipate these. In fact, we had several conversations. I mean, Andrew,
Andrew, if you mind, yeah, coming up.
yes,
I can tell you that this was pretty, when Tracy brought this to our attention, it was pretty, frightening.
so we had initial upfront discussions with the utility company, obviously, because we're looking to do this connection at the time that the design was occurring. Those conversations did not suggest that there would be any sort of fee of this magnitude that would be required for this project. The conversation said that, yeah, we'll do an impact study and then, then we'll charge a fee, and we'll do the connection. Never was there anything that came to this magnitude. I can say that in talking with the funding agency, when I went back to them to talk about this is an issue for the project as well. They had indicated that there were other similar projects that had found out had this similar situation happen to them on their projects as well, where they were essentially at the 11th hour, which is where I would say we are, and find out that we have a big fee that we need to pay. So it seems to be the nature of how this has worked out.
It's a significant project. They're gonna run a line from the treatment plant up to the substation near the South Shore station. I mean, it's a significant project.
Mr. Hanna, would you mind coming up to the microphone?
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, I was
We're all
just-
getting used to the C-SPAN, sorry.
Yep, C-SPAN. So anyway, my point is it's a very significant project. They're gonna have to run from the treatment plant all the way up to I think it's called the Wycliffe Station.
Yes.
There on Highway 12, right there at the South Shore Station. So it's a significant line that they decided that they have to install in order to accommodate the power surges, apparently, coming off our solar field.
they also said that they would have to put one of those Viper towers right at our plant.
Yeah.
So there's two components to this. One of them is covered within the project, and that is the reclosers, and there's some line voltage regulators, things of that, the transformer. Those were all anticipated, and we put an allowance into the project to cover them. So that is fine. The part that wasn't anticipated is what Mr. Hannon is speaking of, which is the part external to the plant that we could not get an answer on during the design process, other than we were told that
Yeah,
there would be
NIPSCO
a
eventually
fee.
evaluated their system and figured out they needed to do this.
Right.
And this was after the fact.
How much was originally spent on those panels? Do you know?
The whole solar field is at least about around a $3 million investment, I believe, going from memory. So we've
And I
got a
believe-
significant amount out there.
There's also an issue with the tax credits being impacted, is that
Yes.
correct?
So we have the IRA tax credits that are also attached to this right now. If we do not get power to the solar and run it this year, we cannot file for those for next year. And so then it would go into 2027, and there is no guarantee that they don't go away after that. And they're talking right now, Baker Tilly said we'd be about around 2.1 million
In credits.
in credits.
And the solar panels are going to reduce our electric bill
Yes,
by
it is
about
gonna-
a third.
It's going, yes,
I mean, it's a significant reduction in the amount of power that we're going to be taking from NIPSCO.
Sometimes you spend money to save money, and that can be sometimes you spend money to make money, sometimes you spend money to save money. I think the challenge here is that when this was all crafted, and I do apologize, I don't remember how many years ago, I know this took a lot of time to put together, because you guys were not informed by NIPSCO this could happen, and nobody along the way said that that could happen, this was very much a spend money to save money. I think the question is, what is the risk of, certainly the savings are going to be reduced, at least at first, because of this wrench. And I appreciate, because it took, to put it very gently, it wasn't like we just called NIPSCO and said, hey, can we cut this in half, pay some now, some later. That took a great deal of negotiations and talk on primarily Tracy's side. I participated a bit, but I'm not NIPSCO's favorite guy. But all that said and done, it's really tremendous work to get to this point, because what was initially demanded was the full amount up front and then subject to change, I believe.
That's correct, Mayor.
It's, I think about this compared to a residential development. You're really not getting the nuts and bolts of engineering from NIPSCO, the answers, until they know what those loads are. So maybe you had some Pollyanna answers from them early on, and then later they realized what they were really dealing with, and then you can't just introduce that into their grid at any location. So, I mean, it seems reasonable. It's just unfortunate surprise, I suppose,
Yes.
but
Exactly.
There was certainly a communication error, as far as how this could have been known well ahead of time and then maybe planned for differently.
I think with some of this stuff and the way that it's gone, it has evolved over time. So unfortunately, as some of these projects have come up, there have been changes in the procedures or in the requirements. As certain projects have come online, they've said, well, that one's there, but we really should have done something a little different. And so they change it for the next guy. And as you're going, those changes also have a cost
You
associated
think you're
with
getting the
them.
deal the last guy got, but you're actually getting the new deal.
Correct.
Yeah, the bar keeps getting raised.
Right.
It's like buy a phone and there's already a new upgrade by the time you get it. Not necessarily for the best in this case.
Yes. Yes.
Right, but we do, as Tracy said, the solar credits are immense, and being able to put the system into service this year is of critical importance to securing the credits.
Would you
and as-
say that it's, we can trust more or less, or hopefully trust, that if we are able to do this, given the time of the year we are, that'll be the case by the end of this year?
So
Our meeting with NIPSCO, they pretty much said yes, that
Yeah.
we'd be able to.
basically what is required to do the connection is the approval of this agreement and presumably that
That
50%
first
payment. Then we have all the equipment on site right now that's required to make the connection and operate at the 350 kW. That would require a temporary shutdown of the power feed to the plant so that the interconnect could be made. Once that's brought back up, we would be able to bring it all into service. So the only thing that we have not arranged at this point is that shutdown with NIPSCO. Everything else is ready to go, as I understand it from discussion with NIPSCO, discussion with the city, and discussion with the contractor who's performing the work.
That's good to know.
just a quick question. Do they have all their land rights in place? Do they have easements everywhere they need them?
NIPSCO? That's not a question that I know the answer to.
No.
I
and in
just
fact,
noticed
it's-
rights of way, and then when it gets into the woods, it looks like it kind of ventures off into some path, I don't know.
So most of that woods is ours. We own the
That's
woods
true.
surrounding. So utility owns the woods. If it's by the utility plant,
Oh, yeah, this is very close.
so yeah, I'm not certain on that.
I just feel like that could be what trips up the project.
Well, to be clear those improvements are for us to go to the full power
Yeah.
load of the project. So it's kind of a two-part thing. To get the credits, we need the initial connection. To utilize the field to the full extent, we have to do that.
So
Yeah.
NIPSCO has to do that, and they've already told us that's 12-plus months. They will not give us a definitive date on that.
But the connection is what's necessary for the credits.
For the
Correct.
IRA credits, and for us to be at least running a little bit. That way, we've got everything, we finish our project with Thieneman, we're seeing what it can do, we're getting comfortable with the unit, so we know what it can do, and when we finally get that to be able to go full power, we'll be really happy when we get our NIPSCO bill in.
Yeah.
They're in fact claiming that there'll be time we're putting it back on the grid, and they'll be giving us credits, but we don't really foresee that happening.
Yeah, it would have to be a very hot, sunny day when the treatment plant is not using a lot of power, which,
That doesn't happen very often.
yeah,
No, especially if it's the middle of the day. I mean, if you were at midnight, maybe.
the other part of it, right, which wouldn't be generating any
It's
solar
subtle,
then.
yeah.
The other part of it that there seems to be a difference of opinion on is the fact that we never shut down a wastewater treatment plant, ever. It always is running. And the belief from a utility side is, well, we have to look at the situation as though you're not using any power. And as a wastewater engineer, I look at it as a situation of if we're not using any power, there is a catastrophic issue.
Right.
There's a bigger problem.
Right. Right, so we, at a minimum, over that year, they said we used, 300 kilowatts at any time was basically our minimum usage. So we expect that at the 350 level, even if it's a bright sunny day, we won't put anything back.
Well, I will make a motion to approve this agreement with NIPSCO and to make these 2 installments to NIPSCO for the required amounts that are written in the contract agreement.
We've got the money for this, right?
Yes, we do.
I mean, on the estimate anyway.
Yes,
So
on the
It's possible
estimate.
it might be lower.
Let's hope.
Would be wonderful if it was
And it's
lower.
And NIPSCO doesn't have a competitor, so
And
I'll
you don't-
second the motion.
So we have a motion and a second. If I could just ask really quick, when the credit, I mean, it won't eat up all the credits, right? Like, we're not going to get the 2 million, what have you, credits, then it all gets eaten up by the increase of this. I would think that's still,
No, we still have some. We'll
okay.
have quite
We have
bit.
a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that gets us to new business, Thieneman Construction, pay app number 3, North Side Interceptor Project.
Okay, let me make sure I have the right one here. Okay, for the North Side Interceptor payment application number 3, this payment application is in the amount of $36,537.95. It's primarily construction engineering related to the project. We've been having regular meetings with Thieneman for the project, and it sounds like within the next month, we will have the start of some work on site. I was told yesterday that the temporary power was being installed for the new lift station that's going north of the ditch, the waterway. So I expect we'll be seeing a lot more work from them here on site soon. We've reviewed it, this payment application. We find it to be accurate, and we're recommending the payment.
Motion to approve.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Then number 2, we have Thieneman Construction, change order number 1, North Side Interceptor.
Thank you, Mayor. Change order number 1 for the Northside Interceptor project is something that we started working on in earnest after the construction got underway. This is a route revision for the interceptor. Essentially, the prior route went, basically, it was a sort of, you came sort of straight across the site, is kind of the best way to describe the prior route. And the new route is a route that works better with intended use for the land, we'll say, over the long term. We thought that there would be a chance for this route revision to occur during the design, so we put an allowance into the bid to cover the costs. This change order number 1 is a $0 change to the project. Basically, we're using that allowance to cover this route revision because it was expected. So no change to the cost of the project, and basically from a time standpoint, we're also not asking for an adjustment to the time. Like I said, it's merely a route revision. The revision to the route has been discussed with Mr. Hannon, with Tracy, Dan, and I believe Mr. Rathjen as well has reviewed that and determined that the route is acceptable to the city. As a result of those reviews and favorable recommendations, we're asking for this board to accept change order number 1, subject to funding agency approval as well.
Make a motion to approve change order 1.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Gets us to Thieneman Construction, pay up number 3, WWTP Improvements Project.
Thank you, Mayor, for the WWTP Improvements Project. This payment application number 3 is in the amount of $25,499.70. This is also for construction engineering on the project. We've been talking to them a little bit about some adjustments out there at the UV that will be in a forthcoming change order, probably at the next meeting. But in general, they are moving forward with this project as well. This is intended to be installed during the non-disinfection season, which is basically the colder months of the year. We are recommending payment to Thieneman for the $25,499.70.
Motion to approve.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Gets us to change order number 7, final clarifier, solar and screen improvements.
Yeah, so this is change order number 7. Was discussing with Tracy for change order number 7. Basically on that project, the solar that was just approved, the payment to NIPSCO was to be paid out of capital. As a result of that being paid out of capital, there are funds remaining on the SRF project. This change order number 7, the city staff liked the new headwork screen that we installed as a part of the project so much that they had requested we get a proposal from the contractor to do the second headwork screen that is also there. So this proposal that you have is for that second screen at the headworks to replace it. It's an increase of $546,575, and it is an increase of 30 weeks. The reason for that time is it takes a while to procure one of these screens. They have to build them. Once you order them, they are not a stocked item. So the increase to the project is available within the project budget, so we can afford to do it with the funds that we have remaining on the project, and we found that the increase was reasonable given the cost that was proposed for replacement of the other screen. This one is, we're doing this at least a year later, and the cost is extremely similar to what we had for the first one, so we felt that it was fair. For the $546,575 and 30 weeks, we are recommending approval of the change order subject to approval by the funding agency.
Make a motion to approve change order number 7.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That gets us to purchase of property at 5806 Central Avenue.
Okay, so the new motion for the property at 5806 Central Avenue is to authorize the mayor or the board's appointee to execute the required documents to complete the transaction contingent on legal reviews by the board attorney. So we're asking to now be able to purchase the land. The two appraisals should be in your package. So the first one came out as 300,000. The second one was 315,000. So we're purchasing it at 300,000. So that was the agreed upon amount. So I'd like to have that new motion, approval for that new motion.
Motion to approve the purchase, 5806
Yes,
Central Avenue.
5806.
A second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gets us to Resolution 2504, Pilot Increase Resolution. Tracy, you're back? That'd be, yeah,
Because I don't have the new resolution, so we had wrote up again, I believe. Did they have? So, in this resolution, basically what we're saying is that the sanitary pilot, it was 1.5 million, and the stormwater was 0.2 million, 200,000. So what we're asking is, it's the desire of the city to increase the amount of the pilot from the sanitary sewer utility for 2025 by an additional 600,000 in order to sustain public safety operations for the calendar year of 2025. So that'll bring our pilot up to 2.1 million for 2025. This pilot is not to be considered a reoccurring pilot. It's just for 2025. So, want to explain a little better?
I think to put it in just the simplest terms I can, we're going through, hence the vote we just did to get a new utility billing building. We're going through not a breakup, but we're rearranging the way that we do billing in the city. We're moving from billing taking place within the clerk treasurer's office, and I don't know if subsidy is the right word, but we're making a change by bringing that utility billing in-house. We understand that, and this is something that's been discussed among Tracy, myself. I know Tracy's very excited about that change. I know Liz was not against the change, but it definitely took some talking about how we're going. One of the things we discussed is being aware that this significant change impacts the civil city. What is something that we could do to make an arrangement that the city is not just being like left when we move the utility billing out? And so what we thought about was a way to take a look at the pilot as a way for utilities to, Tracy, you're following or
Yep.
making sense, and Liz is kind of matched what we
Absolutely.
talked about. Our idea was to up the pilot, for this year, and then bring it back down to its other, level. We know that revenue is expected to increase in the coming years for the utility. We've accounted, for that. So this would be a one-time to assist the city in a particular way, because when we identified where there was a need for funding this year, we found it in the public safety. And so this was a number that Liz and I put together. We ran it through Buzz Crone, our financial advisor, consultant, and then we ran it through with Tracy, and we reviewed the numbers there.
Absolutely.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then that gets us to the claims. Does everyone have a chance to take a look at the claims?
I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anything else to come before the board? Tracy, oh, it looks like you have something to bring before the board.
Sorry, I know you guys are tired of hearing from me today, so I'm so sorry. But I need, so I'm needing to transfer some money from different areas, so I need to transfer $26,500 from improvements other than building and add it to my workman's comp. So we did not, usually we don't budget for workman's comp. It was usually done within the clerk treasurer's office. We never had it before, so we didn't expect that amount. So I would have budgeted higher, and I'll budget next year higher, but we need to get that out of the negative in our account and in our appropriations. So we'd like permission to move the 26,500 from improvements other than building and add it to our workman's comp.
Motion to approve this adjustment.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Thank you. And Liz and Virginia, I have that form right here. I'm going to give you the transfer form. I just got to sign it.
Tracy, Mel found something in his packet.
Yes, what is?
Mind if I hand it to you and just, I'm not sure if this, yeah. Is it in mine? Mine too?
Yeah, so this was, I mentioned this last month about, this is from, and I probably just scanned it with it. I mentioned last month that we were going to WIMS Hock for reporting for the lab, and I mentioned that we were looking at it. It's nothing that needs approval from you guys. This was just, it was probably attached when I scanned something else and went in with it. But this just shows you that it's $10,000 to get the system. They never gave me an invoice, so it's not in your claims this month because they never provided me with an invoice for it. This was just a contractual. So sorry about that.
All right. Anything else before the board or a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.